Well, basically, I'm the revenue manager at Machrihanish Dunes. Now, I haven't always been. I started my first role with Machrihanish Dunes was on the golf course. I was there as a labourer, and as I'm not the biggest of guys, I wasn't very successful at it. But with Machrihanish Dunes, with what we do is we develop the people we have. So Machrihanish Dunes and the management team that we had in place decided that I'd be better suited in a warm office in the pro shop. So they'd stuck me in the pro shop to make the golf reservations. Now, the key phrase at Machrihanish Dunes is ownership. It's taking ownership over your role and developing that role to make it more suited for yourself, but as well, if it helps a guest experience and it brings on some good trip advisors or it makes good feedback, then that's a bonus as well. So I took ownership over the golf reservation system, the caddy booking system, things like that, and obviously driven the sales in the pro shop as well. So that allowed me then, they moved me on to sales and reservations, where I did a fairly decent job, and they moved me into revenue management now. So that's, everyone has the story, not just myself. So my colleague Rona, who's with us today, she started in the pub, and Rona took ownership over pushing guests down the road onto different aspects of the property, so making golf reservations for them, pushing them into the pro shop, and essentially just cross revenue, moving it about the property and letting them know what's going on in the area as well. And that Rona then moved on to reception, where those responsibilities became more, and she took ownership over different aspects of that as well, where it was setting up the guest registration cards in the morning and making sure that all hotel rooms had been inspected after housekeeping had been in. And again, Rona's now in part of my team. She's the office manager in sales and reservations, because she takes control over all the groups, tour operators and the travel agents that we have. So everyone has the story, and that includes our general manager Keith. He started on the golf course as the head greenkeeper, and he's now moved on. He's our general manager, and that story filters right through everyone at Machrihanish Dunes, everyone that's in a position of management, and everyone that's now moved beyond what they're doing at the time. So to give you a bit of background on Machrihanish Dunes, it's the most ambitious project ever developed in the west of Scotland, or golf course. And it's the world's most natural golf course, it's considered. We don't use fertilisers, we haven't moved any earth on there, everything's completely natural. The only thing that we actually built was the tees. So that out of the 275 acres, we've landscaped only 7 acres. And that then, again, people development side of things, we don't need your seasoned greenkeepers, we don't need people with experience on greenkeeping staff. We need to be able to teach folk our way, we need to be able to teach folk how to manage that. And that then, that's from the greenkeeper's aspect, and the head greenkeeper as well doesn't need to be the most seasoned head greenkeeper. It can be someone that's willing to learn and has their own ideas, fresh approach to what we have is a stunning golf course, but again, it's a difficult thing to manage. We started in 2009, we had the old clubhouse pub, the 8 cottages and the golf course itself. And we had 35 staff members. Of those 35, we still have 24 of them. The ones that we have lost have went on to bigger and better things, with some gone to the Hilton Group, some gone off to managerial jobs at different resorts. And these things is something that's key to Machrihanish Dunes, is developing the people and giving them the tools to do their job in the best way possible. So now we've got 2 hotels. We've got the Royal Hotel and the Yugadale Hotel. None of them are massive. We have the 22 rooms in the Yugadale and 23 rooms in the Royal Hotel. And this again allows us not to swallow up guests with numbers, basically. They don't come in and they don't become just a group. They don't disappear into some room number. They're individuals to us. Every group package is tailored around the individual rather than the group. Every aspect of the itinerary that we build is based around their needs. And that again is something that we've had to push on to the staff to then come up with these ideas, come up with these concepts, use your hobbies to build the knowledge. So people that are interested in wildlife, people that are interested in whisky, and people that were interested in the golf or the hunting and shooting markets and things like that, we've asked them to develop those skills. And it lends itself to then building itineraries for groups, building itineraries for our guests. We've got our very own whisky ambassador at the Royal Hotel, and he was a gentleman that basically had an interest in whisky. And again, we developed that. We asked him to go in courses, we put him through a good bit of training to then develop these skills to make our guest experience a lot better. And you can see that filtered down through our TripAdvisor comments that we get every single day. If you look up the Yugadale Hotel or the Royal Hotel in Campbelltown, Every TripAdvisor comment is of a great standard. We've got a few disappointing TripAdvisor comments, but these issues have all been dealt with and people have came back. We never lose a guest, we hold on to it, and again, it's about ownership. That's the key phrase that Machrihanish Dunes have said, is ownership. And it's see a problem, own a problem. It's part of the 14 principles of Southworth, the company that owns Machrihanish Dunes. In fact, every staff member is made to carry about in their wallet is the 14 principles of Southworth. And that's just a little booklet that's got 14 bullet points, simple things like smile, we're on stage, and things like that. It's basically know the contacts. You've got a 911 on there, which is basically you see a problem, own that problem. Know the number to call to sort that problem. Whether it be a housekeeping issue and you're a bar staff member, make sure you know how to sort that problem. Nobody's going to ask you to tidy that room or go in and do something housekeeping wise. We're going to ask you to get in contact and make sure the communications lines are open. Then we always make for a clean, safe environment for our guests. It's just simple things like that. But this is what allows us to develop staff. It breeds loyalty when we're promoting from within, and that allows us then to with the small, talent pool that we have in Campbelltown, it's a very small, you've got maybe 60 people graduating every year from school. And when they graduate, they're looking to move to the cities. We need to then hold on to these people. We need to give them the opportunities to succeed in life within their own communities. And that's something that's hugely important to Southworth. We sponsor through the Kintyre Club all the graduates from Campbelltown Grammar School. We pay for their gowns and their photographs at the end of the year that go into the local paper. And that's something that's been through the private members club, as I say, the restaurant within the Yugadale Hotel. So Campbelltown is, as I said, for many years it was a dying economy. It was built up through big industry. It was built up through the Ministry of Defence was the main sort of employer in the town. Now we're the second biggest employer in Campbelltown outside the wind farms that are there. And this again, it's a hospitality industry that's just sprung up. There's always been hotels, there's always been bed and breakfasts, but there's never been a training programme, there's never been a chance to succeed for anyone that takes a job there. It was just bar work or it was just waitressing work. But with us, you've got the opportunity to move on, to progress, become that head of the bar, become the manager of that bar. And that's something that, again, is key to our success, building the talent pool and making it bigger, making it larger, giving ourselves the opportunity to be able to select from different people. We need a variety of staff. Doesn't matter what their background is. My own background is sales, but that lends itself right into revenue management. There's a lot of people that, as I say, our general manager was our head greenkeeper. To manage 2 hotels, he needs a successful team behind him that knows what they're doing within yield management, things like that, the promotions that we run. Because he knows the market, it's the golfing market. That's our key amenity, so he's the obvious choice for our general manager. He leads the team based around golf. Now, in the early years, golf was our only amenity. Now it's turned round and it seems that the whisky market goes hand in hand with the golf. So adding Dave McDowell, our front of house manager and our whisky ambassador, adding him to our staff and developing his just a keen interest in whisky and now making him a fully accomplished whisky ambassador is something that adds to our guest experience. It's the same with the wildlife side of things. We now employ a lot of greenkeepers that have an avid interest in the wildlife. They've all got cameras on them at all times so that they can take photographs of the wildlife. Some of the images you're seeing here have been taken by the golf house attendants, been taken by the greenkeeping staff, and they've just been dropped into a Dropbox account so that we can filter them through. A lot of them are marketing shots. Some of the really blue ones are, yes, the ones with the really green grass is, but no, there's ones that haven't been edited at all. There's the sunset one that filters through, that was taken from the golf house just after rain, and it was just an opportunity that you're not going to get if you set up, you call in the photographer, you're not going to get that opportunity every day. So I'd open up to any questions that anyone has at all.
When you do your staff training, is it predominantly that you send staff away?
No, we tend to do everything as in-house as we can, and we don't put much of a focus on staff training. There's a difference between our training programmes and our development programmes. Our training's not extensive. That's something where we'll show you the systems, we'll give you the tools to do your job, but we expect to hire in the right way, where we put the right member of staff in a role so that there's not too much training involved. It's just about being friendly with the guest, it's just about knowing the system and being efficient with the system. That's the only training that we'll give. Everything else is something that develops over time. It's building a rapport with guests and recognising the guests as they come back is a huge part. Everyone wants to feel important when they go into a hotel, so that's guest recognition again, that's a huge part. And it's finding their niche as well, it's finding what that staff member's good at. And we've got receptionists there that deal with the entire club membership just because they're so organised. We need to make sure that they know every sort of entire club member that we have and make sure they all have checked off if they've got their voucher book and things. As I said, there's no major training programme just showing you the systems and dropping you into it. The major bulk of work or major bulk of the training gets done on the job. Sorry, sir, you had a question?
There's some expectations about the Asian market coming strongly towards Scotland.
Yes.
The Chinese specifically have certain requirements. Do you already
well, we've just
for that?
we are getting ready for that market now. We've just changed our flag colours to red, which for the Chinese market is a huge thing. They don't come if the flag colours are yellow as they have been. So it's just a superstitious thing. We understand that market. But no, it's something that we're developing our website to have the Chinese translations into different versions of. We've just opened up to the German market as well, the German speaking market. And we've also opened up into the French market as well. So we are in the process of doing that, and it's all being done as in-house as possible. It's using our French-speaking members of staff. We've got some Hungarian staff that are able then to translate some of our stuff back into Hungarian, and even translate our trip advisors that we get from these guests, or even things that have been written in our hotel handbooks.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any more questions?
No.
I think that's really interesting. I'm working with the National Trust for Scotland.
Yes.
So we've got lots of kind of far-flung properties.
Yep.
Where we're employing people from the local area.
Yes.
And I think it's great that you're trying to get their interests
Yes.
as well involved. And if they're passionate about it, the local area
That's exactly
about
it.
your venue as well.
That's exactly it. It's about passion. That's our key thing. Is word of mouth's massive for our guests. But word of mouth through our staff as well. Is staff being happy at work are going to tell their friends who are then coming out of school, who are going to look for jobs, they're going to come to ourselves. We get first refusal of the best staff essentially. It's because of that word of mouth. And again, developing their interests into an actual job role is something that no one comes out of school qualified for housekeeping or qualified for this or that. But if they've got an interest in it and we're able then to progress them through that. And I use housekeeping as the example because the housekeepers that we have, none of them have been housekeepers before. It's just show them our training programme, and now our head housekeeper started on the very first day as a housekeeper, and she's now head of 2 hotels, 2 in a 4-star golf resort, ordering in the stuff. She does not a lot of cleaning, she does a lot of paperwork. But that, again, that's all part of the training programme. And with this small town, you need to develop these talents. There's the actual numbers of it is 84% of our staff are from the local area or surrounding areas. So within 10, 11 miles of Campbelltown. And out of those 84%, 76% were unemployed before Machrihanish Dunes was developed. So that gives a huge indication to how hard a time Machrihanish and Campbelltown were feeling it when the Ministry of Defence pulled out and we lost a lot of contracts with big companies. It wasn't based around hospitality, it was all based around the main industries, big industries, it was heavy industry that was there, and that's all pulled out now. The shipyards have closed since, so hospitality industry's become a massive thing, and for us to be able to be the second largest employer and employ people that were unemployed before it breeds loyalty again, and it pushes the staff to want to do better.
And the sponsorship of the college, did you say?
It's the Campbelltown Grammar School, which is it's just a higher school, but it's anyone that leaves and goes to university. If they have been a student of Campbelltown Grammar School, I think the criteria is 3 years. They have to have been at Campbelltown Grammar School, and we'll pay for their gowns and their mortarboards and their photographs. So that's. We sponsor a lot of other charities within Campbelltown as well. We do the MS Society, the canoe clubs, and there's loads of them that they benefit from it. The maternity unit actually, they don't get much funding for alternate birth methods, so we supply a lot of that for them, the birthing pools and things. So everyone benefits from the entire club. Therefore, it's a well-held thing in Campbelltown. It's something that people like to use.